ATPs. His PhD in environmental engineering and a postgraduate diploma in business management. He's life member of MIE and MIWWA. He is associated at member with Board of Studies, Gujarat Technological University, PDU, Marwadi University, Rajkot. He is Environmental Engineering Course Committee at VIT Vellore. He has made several presentations at national and international forum and published more than 25 papers on environmental management. He has guided the students of PG and PhD also. And on invitation of UNIDO, he has traveled many places like Singapore, Germany, Switzerland, and other places. And he is a very much resource person on the cleaner production. So I think by looking his background, you can say that 44 years of his experience is there in environmental management, and he will be our very good speaker. We will be very much benefited. Sir, you can start your presentation. Thank you. We welcome him.
Thank you, Dr. Singh and Dr. Khare as well. I think he is there at Modasa. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I will be discussing on what exactly we are doing for waste management. But I compliment Dr. Singh for selecting a very important topic which we are facing, and what proactive activities we are doing. I think my presentation is visible to all. All can see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am sharing my presentation.
Yes, sir. We can see your presentation.
Okay, thank you. I'll be going through some discussion on what we are doing for the waste management through cleaner prevention. But I would like to start with, as probably you know, that the United Nations have declared Sustainable Development Goals 17. And we are also, as a part of Government of India, has committed to achieve these goals by 2030. So whenever you talk of any development, you have to see that somehow in some way or other way you are addressing any of these goals, most of these goals, or all these goals. So far, our proactive management of cleaner production is concerned. We are working on particularly goal number 9, that is industry innovation. Since my background is for the industrial development, and when we talk of waste management, then probably more it is pertaining to the industrial waste, and therefore the innovation, that is goal number 9, and then we have 11 and 12, that is responsible production and consumption. Then continuously the 13, 14, and 15 and 17, that is like the climate action which we have been facing very severely, because at many places we have flood, while the other places we have got drought. The very recent example of European and other countries and Canada, which are considered as a cold countries and where the temperatures shoot up more than 40 degrees. So that is what we are talking of, climate action, and then life below water, life above water, and ultimately it is a teamwork. So generally when we talk of any waste, we think immediately and jumping for the solution of treatment part only. So that is what we are doing is the prevention or minimization, and therefore we don't consider waste as a waste, but we call it as a misplaced resources. So waste is not waste until it is wasted. And we know that basically the 3 sectors are responsible for the generation of waste. It is domestic, industrial, and commercial. And we have so many examples which we have seen, because if the management is not proper, then it is littering here and there, mainly the domestic waste. And so it is all your the garbage, the rubbish, the cans, clothing, food packaging, food scraps, newspaper, and whatnot. And so far industrial waste is concerned, it could be hazardous, non-hazardous, the scrap metal, oil, solvents, chemicals, and all that. The commercial, again, there are lot many waste from the commercial activities, like from offices, shops, or restaurants, hotels, hospitals. If you talk of hospitals, then it is a biomedical hazardous waste, and also the stationery and electronic waste from the commercial. So mainly these are the different waste. Why I'm categorizing, because we'll go the generation of waste, be it residential, commercial, or industrial. And again, from industrial, there could be non-hazardous or hazardous. And if it is hazardous, then as I told you that we are jumping directly to the as a part of management, the part of treatment, and we believe that immediately we have to treat the waste. And that is what we are doing. If it is a liquid waste from residential or industrial, from residential it could be grey water or black water, and from industrial again it is the wastewater, or what we call effluent, from the industrial complex, industry, or industrial estates. So these are very the type of waste which we have been talking, be it organic, cotton, wood, and all that. And therefore, the if management is not proper, then we are facing the problem, because of waste is not managed properly. And therefore, the undesirable state of natural environment being contaminated with harmful substances, be it liquid or air emission from industries particularly. And again, so therefore, mainly it could be air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, or noise pollution, because of not proper management of waste. The reasons, if you look at our country, which is of course developing country, which is huge in number, highly popularized, and therefore for the job, there is a urbanization, industrialization. So there is a movement from the rural area to the urban area in want of jobs, and therefore at many places in urban, the demands, the natural sources demands like water or generation of wastewater has become a really issue. If we talk of industries, yeah, as I told you that we need industries. It is a economic growth engine, and as you know that in our country itself, if we see that states like Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, they are leading in industrialization, followed by other states like Bihar, UP, and Himachal Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh as well. But we are neck to neck. We claim that we are highly industrialized state. And as you know that some tragedy, which is known as the London Black Smoke or Bhopal case tragedy. You know the history that for London Black Smoke, it was 1952, somewhere in December, where the temperature shooted up, and mostly the industries were using coal as a fuel. So there was a smoke and there was a fog, and both met together and formed smoke, what we call SMOG smoke. And it is reported that casualty of more than 10,000 people. But it is not only the industries, there is the pollution issues from vehicle, from domestic, and so all this another very black spot in our history, the Bhopal case tragedy, which took place in 1984, when there was a leakage of MIC, that is methyl isonate, and it is reported also more than 20,000 deaths and casualties. So these were the black spot. But as I told you that we need industries, and so far Gujarat is concerned, we have a Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, which is the agency of state government for the smooth development of industries in the state. And as on date, almost 200 industrial estates have been established by GIDC, mainly having sector of textile, pharma, chemical, automobile, Air Force and Defense as well. It is spread all over Gujarat in different form. As I told you that we have non-polluting engineering industrial places, we have chemical, textile, mineral-based, agro, plastic, paper. So if you look at geographical area, the estates have been spread all over the Gujarat area, except the part of Kutch because mainly in want of water and it's more a desert place like this. The other area have been well developed by industrial estates. Particularly if you look at the Golden Corridor, which is situated between Ahmedabad and Bombay. So that is the area where we have mainly the chemical industrial estates or water polluting estates, which are requiring more water and therefore they are generating wastewater. So as I told you that almost 200 plus industrial estates have been established, having different 106 product clusters. Then we are also talking of special economic zones and special investment region, where a region is being developed with mainly industrial clusters. Probably you might have heard about the DMIC, that is Delhi Memory Industrial Corridor, which passes from which starts from Delhi, crosses Rajasthan, Gujarat, and meets at Bombay. And along with this freight corridor, we are developing what we call the industrial corridor, and very prestigious special investment region like Dholera, which is almost about 100 kilometers away from Ahmedabad, is being developed. Just to give you idea, we are developing this in more than 900 square kilometer of area. We'll be having world-class infrastructures like roads, water supply, drainage, effluent treatment plant, electricity. It is not only the industrial clusters, but residential, commercial, recreational, and service sectors as well, with all communication facilities and transportation facilities like airport, seaport, and all that. So that is what Dholera. Another special investment region for us important is at Dahej, which is a petrochemical and petroleum investment region. Almost 450 square kilometer we are developing. So you can imagine, and mainly here at Dahej we'll be having more complex chemical industries and petrochemical industries and all sort of industries. Just to give you idea about area of Dholera, probably you know that the Singapore, which is a very good tourist place, is having area of about 700 square kilometer, and Dholera we are developing in more than 900 square kilometer. So that is just to give you idea that Dholera is being developed 1.3 times of Singapore area. So you can imagine a type of infrastructure which we are putting in this Dholera commercial region. Again, as I told you, the main focus is our chemical estates, which are located between Golden Corridor, that is Ahmedabad and Bombay, right from Daroda, Udo, Vatwa, Udo, Nandesari, then Dahej, Vilayat, Ankleshwar, Paloli. The next Surat, we have Pandesara, Sachin, and then very close to Maharashtra, Vapi and Siriya. Friends, these are the estates where we have more than 50% of chemical industries. And as you know that there we are facing all these environmental issues, because you know the basic input requires in terms of utilities is water, energy, and other streams along with raw material. And this is what I wanted to tell you, that whenever we talk of any industry, it's a manufacturing plant, they are producing something and there could be some byproduct. And other than these two, whatever they are getting, they call it waste. It could be, you know, effluent generated, it could be spent acid, spent catalyst, or process waste, flue gas, or any other thing. And that is our focus area. As I told you that initially we were discussing about waste management, jumping directly to the treatment. But here, friends, we are going for the another concept of cleaner production, and that is the pollution prevention. And the what point I'm making, that we study this waste, and then we discuss that how we can reduce it. It cannot be zero, but how best we can reduce, recycle, reuse, and recover. And that is what under Cleaner Production Center we are doing. So, fortunately, it's just history as waste management. We were happy that we developed so many industrial estates and things are going good. But good that there was a historical judgment in 1995 under Civil Special Application, what we call 770, where with one judgment, the Honorable High Court
Sarita ma'am, mute them.
Yeah, so with one historical judgment, the Honorable High Court directed all industries which are located near Ahmedabad should close down. So this was the historical judgment where we realized that our industries are discharging something which is what they call waste, hazardous waste, and that hazardous waste is generating some problem down to the agricultural fields, and therefore there are issues of pollution. And the verdict was that you must close these industries. And because of that, what we realized, and immediately, as I told you that when we talk of waste management, we immediately jump to the treatment. And that is what I call a reactive or a constructive approach, which we also adopted in the year 1995 onwards. As a result, friends, in our industrial estates, we have got more than 35, 34 common effluent treatment plants. It's a new concept which we started first time in our country from Gujarat, where we are collecting partially treated wastewater from different industries and treating it. So, and we have created the maximum treatment capacity of more than 750 MLD. That is the maximum in any state which have provided of treating industrial complex waste. Not only that treatment, but we also constructed the hazardous solid waste disposal site at 13 places. It's a common secure landfill site. Then we are also talking of common spray dryer and common multi-effect evaporator. And even the wastewater, after treatment, and we have provided a deep sea disposal in the marine. For example, these are some infrastructure of treatment plants at our estate. And this is what the marine disposal line, onshore and offshore. For example, at Ankleshwar, Panoli, Jagadia, we have laid 55 kilometers of pipeline, almost 12 kilometers into the deep sea with a marine diffuser arrangement. So these are various, these are another the solid waste disposal site, properly kept. Another site at what we call Paryavaran Mandir for Naruda, where we have constructed one temple also. And all these facilities which we have created under the waste management as the end of pipe. And that is end of pipe means just generate waste, collect waste at the end of pipe and treat it. So this is what the scenario is, and the state is leading in providing these facilities. But if we talk of end of pipe, another is a preventive approach, and therefore what we have adopted is the minimization hierarchy, that at first level we must try to reduce the generation of waste itself where it is being generated, and explore the possibility how best we can reuse or recycle, or there could be some recovery, it could be energy recovery. And at the end, if we can't do anything, then only we should go for the disposal, and that is for the treatment. So these are what the various, the treatment or energy project or recycling resource or prevention. Point what here I wanted to make, that in spite of providing these many treatment facilities and secure landfill site and common evaporator, common incinerator and what not, even my area, some of the area is under SEPI. The SEPI is Comprehensive Environmental Pollution Index. It was some study earlier done in 2000. 2009 and again in 2018, and they have come out that 10 area, and mainly the Vadodara, Ankleshwar, Vapi, Surat, Vatva and Rajkot are under critically polluted area. The point what that when I have already gone for the waste treatment technology, the advanced treatment technology, provided so many of common effluent treatment plants, why may these areas are under SEPI? And SEPI means I am not able to invite new industries over there, or even the existing industries cannot augment their production capacity. So this was the scenario earlier. I wanted more economy, that is more industries. On the other side, the environment people, the ecological, they said, no, 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 no. Your industry is polluting, and therefore I will go for ecology. And we were not able to achieve any development sort of thing. Another, immediately after the end of pipe, what we have adopted is a very sensitive development between ecology and economy. You might have seen children playing in the garden, you know. So one side there is the industry, another side there is the ecology. So if I talk of more industries, the economy, I want more economy, the ecology may get disturbed. There could be some environmental issues, and that is what we have done with the treatment facilities, because you know that our treatment facilities, we have given certain parameters known as the BOD, COD, and SS and other things. And if there is something, if you are not able to achieve those parameters somewhere, then the ecology gets disturbed. If I talk of so much stringent parameters, then my economy gets disturbed. So this is the waste management, the present practice, which is again also not proper, and therefore what we are doing in cleaner production, that let economy and ecology should get married, because in our culture the marriage is strongest bond, and therefore whenever I talk of new development, I also look at the ecology, and whenever I talk of ecology, I also look at the economy. So it is a very sensitive balance between industries and economy, and rather ecology, and therefore that achieve with a proactive approach, what we call of cleaner production, and that is the part of important part of waste management that we should talk of first, proactive. And friends, you might have heard about the circular economy, and very first step of circular economy says is the cleaner production, and that is what the recycle, reuse, and reduce of the waste where you generate. So in conventional, you are simply going for manufacturing and then throwing your effluent. In second, you are collecting that effluent, trying to recycle, try to treat. But in the final phase of cleaner production, we are attempting that what is waste. So that is what the passive approach initially ignore, then dilute and dispersion, and then what we call is end of pipe, that is the treatment, and then beyond treatment, we are going for the waste minimization. So it is very simple. As I told you that waste is not waste for us, it is a mix plus resources. And why it is arising? Because there is the inefficient usage of utilities. Excuse me. So along with product, if I get something which is they call waste, it is not waste for me. So when I talk of waste, I say that you are losing your money. You are losing your money in your waste because you do not know what you are losing. It could be a product, it could be a byproduct, it could be any resources. And since you do not know the value of it, you are just draining it. And their main function in cleaner production is to convert this waste into a dollar or in money. So these are the ladder of environment management. Initially no management, and subsequently if we talk of treatment and conservation and reduction and all that, ultimately we are talking of the cleaner production, and beyond that we are working on eco-industrial park. So basically our center is promoting the reduction of waste right at its source, then how to recycle and reuse. We started our activities from 1998 onwards under the technical guidance of UNIDO, that is United Nations Industrial Development. organization, and the activities which you are taking is just like this orientation and awareness program, because our mindset is already with the treatment. So we have to change that mindset from linear economy to the circular economy. And the training program, we are training to the people, to the students, how they can conduct a waste minimization or cleaner production assessment. And the very important is demonstration project. We do conduct the cleaner production assessment in the industry, and we document the scenario before cleaner production, how we can able to generate the reduction in waste, and then preparing the guidelines on cleaner production and dissemination of our success stories. So this is the main focus when we talk of any industries, we just study where they are generating waste. For example, this is just a sketch where we have one reactor where we put raw material and some utilities. Then they transfer their material after the reaction takes place to the next reactor and to the next reactor. And in between, they are generating what they call a waste stream. So these are waste stream, for example, like W1, W2 onwards, is our study area. We study what your waste is there, why it is there, what does it contains, why and when it is there. So our study focus is mainly these waste streams, and then we go for the material balance, and there are well-defined tools by UNIDO where we apply those tools, a very structured methodology that we form a CP team in the industries with the people from industries, people from our team, and then we work, we list out the process steps. And as I told you, the list out the wasteful streams between one process to another process. Then we discuss, we go for detailed material balance and water balance and analyze those streams and the cost analysis. And then we generate CP options. And we select CP options based on the technical feasibility, economical viability, and then we implement it. And then the maintain and sustain, because it is not one-time activities like designing of your wastewater treatment plant. No, it is a continuous. You keep on observing your industry, and then you find out any waste stream, and then you work on it. That how you can reduce. So far, the tools are concerned, very simple tools. The best way to reduce waste is right at source itself, and that we do with what we call the source reduction is through good housekeeping. There are many examples which we have documented. Another examples are like process change through input material changes, through equipment modification, through better process control, through technology change wherever feasible. And on the other side, we explore also possibilities how we can create some byproduct, or we can go for recycle and reuse, or if required, we can go for the product modification. There are some example of good housekeeping which we have documented. If we look at any industries, particularly our small scale industry, where there is a not proper managerial operational approach, because it's a one-man show in industry. So their store is also very improper. Their floor is itself, it's not the proper way. There are leakages from the motors and pumps. Their flooring quality, the tiles are not proper. The stacking materials are properly raw material and product is also not proper. And that is what we are doing. This is some example where how the precious material are being transferred. We are asking them to use beaker as we do in laboratory. The acid bath also, we tilt the object and collect the used acid bath, which can be again useful. Many industrial sheds have been converted in a proper roofing system so that we can, maximum use sunlight during daytimes. You don't use electricity. So the roofing design itself to have more sunlight, so having the lighting. As I told you, the proper stock, proper stores. These are some example where earlier how they were putting their raw material and their useful things, which was not proper. So the labeling, it's a very simple, it's a common sense, So, but it is a very, in industry, there is a very issues. So labeling properly, how to use it properly in SOP. As I told you, this is the industry in Mauritius where I work for the textile industry. The complete roof has been having a glaze. So they were not using any electricity during daytime. And look at the floor, the housekeeping itself, it is very good. Uh, the proper person, the people. Another example of the flooring in one of the cases, Rajkot, where the flooring was not done properly. So that RCC flooring allows less staining and increasing and ease of washing. So earlier there was a percolation because of the improper flooring itself. So we advise them to change complete flooring, and therefore they could avoid all this percolation. These are some example of raw material changes. Now we are trying as much as possible to use a natural dye. Our dyes industries are really polluting industry because the raw material which they are using is hazardous. So we are promoting how best we can use the non-hazardous natural dye, which can be used for the printing of clothes and all that. Another example in cement industries, the raw material substitution use of pond ash, as a substitute to latrine minerals. So, now the many our thermal plants are generating ash and they are supposed to provide a pond. So they can collect that ash, and that pond ash, what we call, is can be substitute, and it is already being used by some of our cement industries. The payback period of changing of their some of the equipments was only 4 years. So whatever the investment they made, they got return within 4 years. If I talk of process control, there are many examples by simply equipment I mean the changing like RPM of a motor. The optimal use of RPM also reduces the electric consumptions. In one of the industry, we could able to do it where the investment was almost zero, and it started saving almost 1 lakh per annum. So another example of success stories is better process control. What process control I mean is, for example, the installation of a pressure gauge or installation of thermometer for knowing the reaction temperature. That is improper in many of the small scale industries. So these are the same. For example, in one of the bromine plant chlorine, the length was increased. They were not having the enough length. So simply the length increased for the better reaction with the investment of almost hardly 10,000 or so. And the payback was instant. I mean, just they could able to extend their reaction time. This is what the thermography we have done in many cases when there is a transfer of steam. The insulation in the steam pipelines are not proper, and therefore there were the heat losses. This is one of the paper industries where we could tell them that you are losing 18% of your heat which you are generating your boiler. So equipment modifications, very simple. There was some reaction was carried out in high pressure and high temperature, and therefore they were facing problem in valve. So they have to replace their valve frequently. So there were some mechanical adjustment of a mechanical seat which was already, the operation was generated by one of the person of industry itself, and simply by the replacing of that seat, they could able to increase the life of their valve. So these are the success stories where whatever investment was done, the payback period was hardly 8 months. So that is what we are generating in equipment modification. Centrifuge is there. Simply agitator, you have to mount it, and once you have agitated news filter, you get your mixing time in a less time. Again, it is a centrifuge, you increase more baffle walls, so high velocity and less time. And there are some technology changes. We are talking of some auto tube cleaning system. So that in particular in condenser, so that you need not go for the frequent cleaning system of your condenser system. And then there is a green chemistry also. We are able to generate some a byproduct from their industrial effluent itself. Because in waste management, you talk of treatment, so whatever effluent they were generating, they were just bothering about treatment. We studied that what mother liquor they are generating, and in one of the cases, we could able to recover some byproduct as the manganese carbonate, which is a sellable, and so they could able to reduce their wastewater and generating a byproduct. Another case, as you told, that in many industries we are proposing to use the steam condenser so that they can recycle back their condensed water back to the feed water. This is another example of cement industry where they were having the waste air on the top floor and they were just releasing that waste air. So instead of that, they just installed a small power windmill, and that waste air is using to run this windmill, and they're able to generate some power with that waste air. So product modification, there are a number of examples where they could able to generate or create something a better product, avoiding any chemical or hazardous material. Another live example I can give you, for example, if one ice manufacturing industry, which is known as a very famous Nirula, famous in Delhi, northern side, they were discharging their wastewater and they were supposed to treat it. They wanted to treat it, but they were not having enough space for that. So the cleaner production, they study, as I told you, that whenever you talk of waste, even in your domestic, even in your house, even in your office or college, if you throw some paper, then just think twice why that waste is generated. So here also in ice cream, what is the manufacturing process? They have a big vessels like this. They put their ingredients, they churn it. Once one flavor ice cream is manufactured, they collect it, wash it with the water, and then put another ingredient for the next flavor. So here what they are generating wastewater is the wash water from the vessel. So they studied that what wastewater is containing. So it is nothing but some ice cream left out on the blade of that churning machine. उनकी churning machine में जो भी blade पे ice cream रह जाता था, या उनकी wall पे, उनके reactor wall पे around 15 feet or 20 feet height. So whatever ice cream was left out there, they put some water, churn it, and then that was the wastewater. So they optimize the quantity of wash water. वो पहले एक hose pipe लेके साफ करते थे. They were not having proper quantity of water, and also they keep on washing. So simply वो high diameter, larger diameter के आगे एक छोटा सा jet लगा दिया है. By reducing that diameter, so velocity will increase, reducing the consumption of water, and that will also reduce the wastewater generation. And later on they found that जो wastewater, wash water था, nothing but जो ice cream, for example, if a vanilla ice cream was manufactured, then the water with that vanilla ice cream was a milkshake. So they could able to generate a byproduct from that wash water. Point what I'm telling, that earlier they wanted to treat it, because as a waste management, first step is only treatment. But here the proactive, they could able to reduce the waste water itself, and then they are not able to reduce, but they are able to go for a byproduct, which is a milkshake. So these are some example. Whenever we do, we just look at earlier whatever the water consumption was, that how we can able to reduce, as well as energy, also the wastewater generation before and after, and also air emission. And all these are the case studies which we have documented in the different sector of industries like agro, charcoal, textile, paint, chemical, and other dairy industries, where we could able to optimize use of that water. The water itself is a very precious material, and with our methodology, as I told you, we could able to reduce their water consumption, Once your water consumption is reduced, the wastewater generation is reduced, and also we have gone for the energy conservation and generation, I mean the reduction in their solid waste. It is not limited to industries, friends. When we talk of waste management, I believe what we are addressing is also at domestic or commercial front. Nowadays, we are facing problem of e-waste, and again we talk of e-waste treatment and all that. Good that very recently, for last 2 years, we have got more than 25 e-waste recyclers very much registered. The details are available on Gujarat Pollution Control Board site. So here we talk of how best in domestic front you can reduce your e-waste generation, because generally we have adopted a philosophy of use and throw. काम किया और उसको फेंका. And how frequently we are also changing our mobiles, our equipments, electronic equipments, and which is created a problem like this. But with new waste management rules, with the extended producer responsibilities, we are able to also minimize. So what are the generation of waste? And we tell them how you can optimize your usage of your electronic equipments with value addition. So once mobile you throw, within 3 months, you can use it for more time if you don't need any fancy thing to be added. Same thing, you can upgrade your laptop and your PCs instead of buying new one. So this is what we are also educating students and other domestic people about waste like e-waste. As you know that it contains so many precious materials, and therefore we have in process of inventory of e-waste. And as I told you, we have got number of recyclers available at the website, and therefore at our urban area we guide and we make people aware that you segregate your waste right at source itself, the wet waste, the dry waste, if you talk of municipal solid waste, and other waste like e-waste, but scrap waste and all that. So these are a separate industry has come out of a recyclers facility. And as I told you that we have got so many itself registered e-waste recyclers. So the websites and the contact details are available. So whenever you think that any of your electric equipment is now no more useful to you, even after value addition, you can contact these recyclers, which will assess the value of it and will take your equipment for the further recycling. Another what I have been observing important is the food waste. Since the opportunity is given, let me talk that almost 32% of our population is living below poverty line, and very first goal of our sustainable development goal says no poverty and no hunger. So friend, when we must optimize use of food, whatever is a study area, because at the other side, if people are not getting enough food, we are wasting food at other places. So we must optimize, study how best we can use food, whatever it is given to us, without wasting. So first we have to prevent and reduce food waste right at source itself. Source means our restaurant or house, or we can donate to the nearby people of a slum area and go for recycle or waste to energy or other products. So there are a number of tips for the minimization of your food waste. As I told you that you must consume whatever you need. Unfortunately, अभी जो हमारी culture हो गया है, that is ग्राहक से हमको consumer बना दिया है. Earlier we were ग्राहक only. ग्राहक means जो हमको ग्राह्य रहे, the things which I bare minimum needed for me. उसके अलावा हम आगे बढ़ गए consumer. We keep on consuming, and that is what we have seen in the big malls, and we keep buying something which may not be useful to us. So whenever you go for any food or any fruit or any vegetable, we must see that what best we can make use of it without wasting. So there are many. Again, we have got the organic waste composting. We also guide people, teach them that how they can have small composting plant at their society or their house itself. There are a good number of examples. Very recently, we have been using our organic waste converter in many of our vegetable markets, where the unsold vegetables or used food is directly put into this machine and it converts into the organic. We also mobile organic waste composite machine, which keeps on moving and collect the organic waste and converting into the composting. This is one of the house lady which is installed in a society and converting into the organic waste, as I told you, and you get the fresh manure which can be useful to the agriculture for farms, or you can use in your kitchen garden. Another we are misusing is our plastic. For example, our plastic wet bottles. It is very good example of eco bricks manufactured. I mean, a house is being constructed with what they call eco bricks of used plastic. Also at Surat, we have this plastic bottle e-bottle recyclers, which is converting into the fibers, and from that fiber, the t-shirts are being manufactured from that waste plastic bottles. The unit is located in Surat. Then also the packaging materials is also creating problem. You might have seen that we have started in from south. The packaging materials is now available in banana leaves, so which is a biodegradable, and again the same packaging material immediately you can go for biodegradable. So these are another example. Generally the stationary waste, particularly in our government offices, we keep writing on some pages and throwing back to the dustbin. So there are a number of tips which we want to give, that it is not waste, use it properly. Optimize use if all your stationaries, your pen, pencils, maximum use of email instead of hard paper writing. So these are some examples. Also, we are having the recycled paper industry at Vapi. Particularly, they are going for the newsprint and packaging materials, where they collect the newspaper and other waste paper, and they recycle it, and they manufacturing waste paper recycle paper, which is useful for packaging. So we must promote such type of concept, just not only mere treatment, but again we can back to recycle. For example, that recycle paper, which is very common in our uh, Vapi area. Mainly we have this recycle paper, waste paper recycling agencies. Then biomedical, I don't want to go more in detail. We know that it's itself topic, but we have incineration facilities, biomedical waste itself, which is another topic. And we have to, in Corona time also, we used common incinerator facilities where we keep on dumping the biomedical waste. I will not go, but this is maybe interesting to you about our construction and demolition waste. And now we have got the management rules from the ministry, the CD waste management rules 2018, where generally it was a problem because the construction waste we get from the roads or bridge or flyover or somewhere, where there is either a renovation of the existing construction, and when they generate the used bricks or plasters or cement. So we have now industries where there are many industries involved. They collect the CD waste as per the guidelines, and then it is being converted into the payment like this, which are being used, the different purposes of wall cladding or paver block or tile or concrete block, or also for the where the fence post or park bench from that CD waste, or also we have some precast structure from process CD waste for the construction of toilets under Swachh Bharat mission. So these are use of our C&D waste. What point I wanted to tell, that just don't go on the treatment. Think whatever waste you think how to minimize, and then how you can use as a byproduct. For example, temple waste. We are so much religious, so we have so many flowers, leaves, coconut shells. So in Ahmedabad, they are having kalash. You can just go put your flowers and all that back to that kalash, which is again being given to the some cottage industries, and they are converting into some sort of fan sticks, that is agarbatti or ever other as a startup project. So again for the treatment, for example, another example for our domestic front is our sewage treatment plant. So here we train people how you can optimize use of your water itself, because in water supply scheme we take 135 LPCD liter per capita per day. So how best you can optimize your uh, use of water. And again, when you generate uh, black water, then you have to treat it, and it is another example of treating your wastewater into a sewage treatment plant. And as you know that the state government has come out in 2018 of the policy of reuse of treated wastewater, where initially 25% and later on by 2030 almost 100% of sewage treatment plant to be recycled. This is another example of at Surat, at Barmoli, where the sewage, the wastewater from Surat municipal area is collected, treated, and it is given to the nearby dyeing industry to the tune of 110 MLD. So now it is a water source for those industries which are located at Pandesara and such an area. So this is another example of our properly kept hazardous waste disposal site, whereas I told you that we have a Paryavaran Mandir properly kept, and a garden is maintained over it. Then there is a circular economy which says that no waste, first go for cleaner production, that is reduction of waste, utilize it for the better services, then remanufacture and recycle and reuse and go for green products. So it is a circular economy. So just don't jump to the treatment part, but go for such philosophy. Another example is the industrial symbiosis, where the waste of one industry can be used as a resources for the next industry. There are many examples which we have generated at our GADC Naroda, where the fly ash is being used for the road construction. The waste from food industries is being converted into biogas, and we generate electricity. And also the spent acid is being used for the textile industry, and the spent acid is being collected at one place and converted into important raw material gypsum, which is being sent to the cement industry as a raw material. So the point is that what we are trying to have an industrial symbiosis, how best we can use a waste of one industry to the other industry. But as I told you that our experience of working on waste minimization is not that easy. You know, there are so many prerequisites. There has to be willingness, committed. People should come out with open mind. They should tell that, yeah, I think this is my waste. Then it is a teamwork, structured methodology, and patience. You will not get directly solution immediately. Even you have to think that if I'm throwing a glass of water after drinking, why I'm throwing it? Can I consume it? Can I put it for another time? Or can I take water only which is required immediately for me? So it's open mind, and it is hard work. There are also certain mental blocks when we talk to industry. They say you are disturbing our tradition. We were using this, we were doing this. We don't want to break the tradition. हम ऐसे ही काम करते थे, ऐसे ही production चलता था, ऐसे ही हम material use करते थे. They also think that they will be left alone. लोग बाग उनकी criticize करेंगे, they will be misused. And this is very important. There is always a resistance to change. They don't want to change. So attitudinal change is very important, and they will think that they will be being a guinea pig, a victim. There are certain means they will say that, oh, it looks good in presentation, but it may be good in large companies. It may require large funds. मैंने आपको बताया, in treatment you don't get anything back. You simply treat it and throw it the treated wastewater. Here in cleaner production, you are using it, you are reducing it. And for that, whatever investment you are doing, there is a calculated payback period. So there is a return on investment. So there is not much of automation. It is not one time of activities. Also there are certain idea clearance कि अभी तो कोरोना है, बाद में सोचेंगे, हमने कुछ ऑलरेडी टाइम किया है. You are talking of environment, talk to our treatment person. I said treatment is not our cup of tea. We want to study your process. Where you are generating waste, we want to study your waste. So these are some idea killers which is generally raised by our industries people. Fortunately, Gujarat being very proactive, it is good that a subject on cleaner production has been included in the curriculum of B Environmental Engineering. First time we started at our LDC, LD College of Engineering. And incidentally, a book compiled by us is being used as a reference book for that subject, which gives the theoretical and some practical approach. Also, what I found that there is a gap between academia like you people and industries and a facilitator government like me. So industries are doing themselves thinking that they are doing good. Academia is thinking that, yeah, this is the syllabus. Let us finish. Let us complete the subject, I mean the syllabus. Let us take exam and then it is over. And government is watching. So we started interlinking of this academia and industry. What here we do that we really take some real problems from the industries and we assign to universities and colleges for the dissertation of their MTech or BTech or PhD research scholars. So they can work on some issues of industries. And we collect the abstract or synopsis, and then there is the jury who select best 5 abstracts among all entries received by us. And then we have a program like this where they invite industries also, chambers also, the Federation of Industries Association also, government officials. We invite guide of the faculty members and students and ask them to present their findings. So that is the gap which we want to fill up by this interlinking program. Also, as I told you, that government is very proactive. We have the first time of government when the Honorable Prime Minister was here as the Chief Minister, the government started and giving a cleaner production award to the industry who has done exemplary work of implementation of cleaner production by reducing the waste water and energy conservation, solid waste reduction. So this is the first time where we have started given the cleaner production award right from 2006. Also, we are part of environment information system as a resource partner for the Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change, the Government of India, where we are collecting the data on our cleaner production results all over the globe for the dissemination to the research scholars and the secondary data available to the PhD scholars. And under this, we are also conducting a training program under green skill development. Very recently, we have conducted ETP, CETP, master trainers for the operation of CETP, ETP operators, and also the cleaner production assessors, where they have to apply to the ministry and complete expenditure of the training towards their accommodation, lodging, and everything is being sponsored by the government of India. And we see that they are also placed to a proper place after finishing the training program under this green skill development. So this is what very recently we have conducted at Vapi, where 15 students were selected. It is almost 3 months training program, where 30% is a theoretical and rest is the practical training on first hand on the operation of effluent treatment plants or common effluent treatment plants as well. And then students are given certificate. This is our honorable chairman, who is the vice chairman and managing director and principal secretary of industries, Shri Thenarson sir. senior IAS officer, and we have distributed the certificate and training kit to the students of under that green skill. Also, the industrial policy provides financial support to the industry if they want to implement of any of our cleaner production by by some substitution of their raw material or equipment modification, thus controlling their wastewater, reducing their waste, and 35% of the total project cost with a cap of 35 lakhs of rupees is being reimbursed by the government through Industries Commission. So these are the industrial policy where we encourage industry to go for green practices under environmental, and there are a number of financial assistance available to the industries for the improvement of their environment. So point what I want to take that when we talk of waste management, one hand we have got treatment, but before that we must go for the minimization of waste by optimizing using of the resources. And the very important resources for us is water. And as I told you yesterday, we had ample. Today we have at cost. Even during this monsoon, we are not getting sufficient rain. And I'm afraid if we are not using water properly, tomorrow we may have to face this situation. So as energy, which is very important, yesterday we had enough, today we have, but at cost, we are paying maximum tariff towards energy. But if we are not vigilant about the optimization use of energy, tomorrow we may have to face this situation. So this is what, given the opportunity, I wanted to tell you to my friends. You can follow us on Twitter. You can contact us. We are at Gandhinagar Udyog Bhavan. Today I am here. Again, thankful to Dr. Singh and other faculty members for giving me this opportunity. And the only message which I wanted to convey, that first thing, what waste you are generating before thinking of treatment, and then optimize use of resources, minimization of waste, and then only you go for the end of pipe treatment. Again, thanks. I have to travel to Vapi. So here I'm finishing. I will welcome any questions, if any. Again, thanking you very much and wish you all the best. Stay safe, and I wish all good future ahead. And for any support, for any help, we are available through mails or any contact or through Twitters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bharat Jain, sir. In spite of your busy schedule, you are here to encourage us and to give a very good lecture on a very important topic, that is waste minimization to cleaner production and waste management. So I think from participant, if you want to ask a question, please you can write in the chat section and ask. Or you can directly ask.
Postal lunch section, things are tough. For me, it was my lunch time is 2 onwards, no problem, 1:30 onwards. So I skipped lunch, and since I have to travel to Vapi, I thought I will take little. But generally, the post lunch sessions are very tough. You have to keep participants, and you had very wonderful first presentation of a professor from IIT. I was also looking at it. Okay. So very interesting. I don't know how my concept of waste minimization fit into your waste management. Yeah.
It's also, sir, this is the first part. This is the thing that we have to do before going for waste treatment.
Yeah. So, yeah. And sir, it is what in Corona 1 and 2, generally, we started the prevention activities. In most of the families, you started with ye ukala piyo, ye sunt khalo, ye adrak khalo to prevent. So yes. They realize that a treatment is very, isolation, and then followed by oxygen, and then followed by ventilation. No. So let us
Yes,
not
yes,
do treatment, let us go for prevention. So
yes,
most of the people, if you look at it, because I was involved in distributing this Ayurvedic medicine in our area by providing some food to the people and all that, I realized that they started these preventive activities, which includes yoga, all sort of thing, taking food very required only, then keep on adding, the Ayurvedic medicine, and that is a preventive approach. So people have realized that even in medicine, the best way is to prevent, and prevention is better than cure.
Sir, one question from our participant, Dr. Suchitra Rajpujan, that is there any scheme for research funding for water research for universities?
Yes, yes, yes. We started, it is available with Gujarat Pollution Control Board. I request, we are not getting participants. I request my friends to just go through their website and they can take up a subject regarding this waste management. It could be minimization or treatment and anything. And there is a system of stipend from the Pollution Control Board. I am part of their committee. So we will welcome the students who want to go further in research and all that. The schemes are available. That is one. Second, if someone want to work on some industrial effluent, we have so many industries. We will we'll make facilities of collecting their sample and all that. They can work. We have got laboratories at few places. They can use our laboratory also. So we want to, encourage our students, because you know that on this front we are poor in research and development. I'm sorry to say. So more and more innovation. That is what I have shown you in sustainable goal. That we want to go for more innovation. So I will welcome any students or any faculty members for the financial assistance. There is a scheme from Gujarat Pollution Control Board, or for any schemes, I mean for anything for related to industries, they can contact us. We'll see, we'll facilitate with all possible support and help. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I think for these faculties and the students, because as you are connected to academic also, it will be very helpful for both the like industry also and for academic also.
Certainly.
I think if there is no other questions, then we will end the session. Okay. Thank you, sir, again for your. I think I know that you have a very busy schedule, and you have then also you have come here and you have given lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you again, Singh Sahab, and convey my regards to Khare Sahab if he is there.
Yes, he was there. I had just called him. He was
Yeah, no
taking
problem.
lecture. Yeah, he was taking
Good,
lecture.
good.
Therefore,
And if sometime time permits, I keep visiting one college every month. But due to this corona, so next time I'll see if I can come to your
yes,
college and meet you personally.
you are welcome here at
Yeah,
Government
and
Degree College, Moras.
yeah, we can discuss. And I know that you have very learned faculties and all that. I miss it there. I'm not that that to that level, but at least we can share what we are doing and we can
Yes.
interlink. That is what the gap here I observed. So more and more academic institutions I want to involve in our this industrial issues and overall investment. So again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank
wish
you.
you all the best. Please stay safe and healthy. And I wish all a good, bright future to my young students if you are there as the participants. Please take care and thank you again. Namaste.
Okay, participants, I think the next session will be teacher. So that will be by Professor Shabi Imam, and he will be dealing with the teacher. immediate correction in the treatment. So we'll be meeting at that time. And the other thing I want to tell you that those who are facing problem or some your friends are facing problem in joining because one or two WhatsApp I am getting that they are not able to join. So you can also help them. Otherwise, we are doing from our side also. Thank you.